up, everybody? It's Jeremiah with Bullfrog Airguns, here to do another review. This time it's on a hand pump. I started off with compressor Yonghing, and I have a portable GX compressor which works really well. It's pretty awesome. Runs off a 18 volt Makita battery, as I'm sure a lot of you have watched the video on. This is my first hand pump. I've always been curious to see how well they work. I wanted one in my arsenal just to have in case, situations. All my compressors break, then I have something to fill with. I eventually want to get to the Alkin. That's my goal here. That's the ultimate, you know, and also carbon fiber tank, CBA, SCBA, whatever. I had somebody in one of my last videos on the compressor, when I said I want a scuba tank, comment that I don't know what I'm talking about because it's not a scuba tank, it's a SCBA tank, which, just to clarify, scuba means self-contained underwater breathing apparatus, and SCBA is self-contained breathing apparatus. And so clearly you don't need an underwater breathing apparatus to fill your air tanks. So that is not what I meant, and there's not much difference in the two words anyways, and so that's just kind of funny that that was pointed out to me. So if you say scuba, or if you say carbon fiber, or if you say SCBA, anybody who uses PCPs knows what you're talking about. Clearly I'm not just going to go grab some random tank and fill it and think it can fill my gun if it's not a 4500 psi, you know, tank, especially carbon fiber. I'm gonna get a good one, you know. So anyhow, if I say scuba tank, you know what I mean. But anyhow, back to this hand pump. So I wanted to get one just to have in the arsenal. I like the GX portable a lot, so I tried this one out. There's pros and cons to everything that I review. The best of products have cons. The worst of products can have pros. So I'm not bashing this by any means. However, I have a very negative view on hand pumping now. I've heard people joke about it. I've seen the memes, you know, about, you know, drop your gym membership and get a hand pump. There's some truth to that because this is a major workout. So anyhow, this here is the GX H-M6 with an external filter with the incandescent and carbon beads. So it's got two-stage filtration there. It's got this little tiny cotton filter in there. Not much of a filter, but you're pumping a lot slower, which produces a lot less moisture, even though you're condensing the air, which will produce moisture. But anyhow, it comes with some bunch of O-rings, bunch of extra parts, little springs in there, little connectors, different Foster fittings. There's a couple tools, quality certificate, some oil, and then these little filters that go in here. So I used to be a smoker. I just quit a few days ago, so wish me luck on that, guys. But anyhow, these aren't much bigger than a filter on a cigarette, which you definitely want a lot of filtration on the air going into your guns. We spend a lot of money on our guns, and we don't want oil and water and dirt in our guns, and so filtration is very important. And so I'm working towards an Alkin. That will make me feel the safest, honestly, because even with my Yonghing, no matter how much filtration I put on it, I still feel like I'm getting moisture in my guns, or dirt, or oil, and just not the best quality air. And as I start to improve the quality of my guns, I really want to improve the quality of air I'm putting in them. I don't want to be destroying my guns, rotting them from the inside out, whatnot. And so you really can't tell what's going on inside the gun, you know, until you open it up and look. And I've seen some pretty horrific videos inside there of how much moisture people were getting in, and it's just not good, you know. So anyhow, back to this. Let's start with the pros. The pros. I already talked about this external filtration. So it's clear so you can see through it, and you can tell it'll change colors if moisture's coming through. So that's a good thing to have. That indicate moisture coming through right away. You don't have to dissect it to see. This is where that little tiny cotton filter goes, and here's the glycerin filled gauge. So one cool thing about this is, whoops, that piece that popped out was the for testing it. Now I just did a video on this, and I was reshooting the video because my camera died, and so in that video I happened to go like this a couple times, and so that's why there's pressure that just popped that out. But so that is to test this and make sure that it's not leaking. And when that cap was in here, I was able to push it up to 200 bar, and I left it for overnight. I come back the next morning and no leaks whatsoever, so that's a good sign. This thing's very awkward. I don't know how people that hand pump would use this with such a short whip. And I'm looking at the whip now, and even though this is made in China, this whip is made in Germany, and it's a 1600 bar blow pressure. So 1600 bar, that's all right. I mean, that seems like a pretty decent whip. It's made in Germany, which gives me a little bit more trust, but I've seen videos of these things exploding on people, and it's horrific. One guy's leg was filleted open. I'm sure you guys saw it in the groups, but horrible. So anyways, it holds its pressure, but this is just crazy. So I wanted to give this thing the best shake I could, and so I was looking at what gun would be most easily filled with a hand pump. I went with the Benjamin Marauder. That's my only gun that I have that's not modified in any way, and so I figured hand pump that. It was only down, I think I had 150 bar in it, and I was gonna fill it up to the 200 bar just to top off, and that was a beast to do. That's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I was sweating, and it's hot out here in Southern California. I'm out in my shop trying to pump that thing, and you know, awkwardly holding the pump, trying to keep the rifle, you know, safe and not being scratched up, because with this short of a whip, it's nearly impossible to not have your gun moving around as you're pumping with this thing. And so inevitably with this short of a whip, you're standing on this, where's your gun? Your rifle's laying on the ground. And so luckily on the other side of my shop, I've got a gym area that I'm setting up. So I've got a padded floor, and so I was safely able to set my Marauder down on the padding so it wasn't getting all beat up as I tried to, you know, pump with this thing. So it, like I said, I did that one time just to see how it was, and honestly, if this was the only way we could fill our PCPs, I'd have another hobby. Honestly, I would. This thing's, and it's nothing bad about GX, it's nothing bad about this model, it's just hand pumping. This is, I mean, no, all the people that joke about it and talk smack about it, I mean, they're not exaggerating. And those of you that hand pump, that happen to be watching this, you guys know it's a pain. And I highly recommend getting a good compressor over a hand pump. But if you want a hand pump just in your arsenal to have for just emergency situations, you know, just last ditch effort, you can fill your gun, then this is one I would recommend. I think it's really high quality. It is what it is. You know, I haven't used a hand pump like this since I was a little kid airing up my bicycle tires, and you know, imagine pumping up your car tire with one of these. That's only 40 psi, you know what I mean? And so it's insane once you get up to 2000 psi how much weight you have to put on this. I'm 6 foot, I'm about 190, 200 pounds. So I had to put all my weight down getting that pushed down. And so, yeah, it is what it is. Take it for what it's worth. I mean, if you guys want to get a hand pump, I would not discourage against this one. However, if you're new to PCPs and you're just checking out videos to figure out how you're going to end up filling, I would save money and get a compressor. If you don't have a gun yet and you're looking at getting a gun and getting a pump, save your money. Get a compressor first. Honestly, that's my opinion. And yeah, save yourself a headache or two, you know. And the other thing is, if you don't want to get pumped, even better, get yourself a SCBA tank, carbon fiber, 4500 psi tank. You can get them filled at paintball stores or at certain fire stations, or, you know, your airgun shop, those of you that don't live rural, you know, and that's a good option. And so that's my next thing I'm going to be getting, is a nice carbon fiber tank to be filling, and eventually my Alkin compressor, because I want complete confidence in my air, and that's the only way I feel I'm going to get it, is with an Alkin. And so anyways, guys, take it for what it's worth. That's my 2 cents on hand pumping in general. I can't say anything negative to this as far as quality, other than this short whip. I mean, if you're gonna hand pump, at least have a longer whip than that. I mean, even on a compressor, this is too short of a whip, in my opinion. I mean, where are you putting your gun? And so, anyhow, this should be 2-3 times longer, in my opinion. And yeah. Anyhow, guys, I don't know if that helped anybody. Hopefully it did. And yeah, that's my view on this GX H-M6 hand pump. See you guys on the next one.